Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Mahoutsukai no Yome, Ancient Magus Bride Season 2, Part 2, Episode 1, technically, but really Episode 13 of the second season, because it's been split into two cores, essentially. Right. right. What do I expect from today's episode? I don't know, honestly. The previous episode, that is the last episode of the first core of the second season, was a conclusion of that core. So a lot of the threads have been... I wanted to say that a lot of those threads have been closed, but no, that would be a lie. Plenty of them have been opened, but none of them seem like they would have immediate resolution. Meaning, what happened in the previous episode? A lot. First of all, we went to the Waste Tower, that is Chise, Isaac, Rian, Philomela, and that's it. Yeah, they went to the Waste Tower together with Fabio Zaccheroni, and as it turns out, there is some special plants in there that you can see only if you've killed someone. Surprise, surprise, Chise can see it. Surprise, surprise, Rian can see it. Surprise, surprise, Philomela can also see it. What's his face? Fabio. Fabio talks about them as if they were some sort of, maybe not chosen ones, but he calls them, I think, qualified or something thereabouts. I wonder, qualified for what? All those people, all those sorcerers lingering around the Waste Tower are, I would assume, criminals, because they were closed there, shut off there for a reason. They also... Not Fabio, although, yeah, Fabio as well, everybody seems fairly aggressive, fairly low morals kinds of characters. So something nefarious is afoot. We just don't know what exactly yet. Another thing that happened is Lucy having a little bit of a talk with, what's his face, Seth, about what's her problem, right? She finally got it out in the open that she didn't very much like the fact that Seth just went away. He thought that it's not going to be an issue because Lucy is going to have a support system in the form of the rest of the family, right? Because she's the heiress and the rest of the family loves her, so she will have people who are friendly to her, people who love her. But it wasn't her perspective, because for Lucy, Seth was the only person she could be herself around. Everybody else was treating her as an heiress, as the next in line, and only Seth treated her as her own person. So there was a lot of miscommunication on that part, and they got it all sorted out, and Lucy also found some motivation, some strength to say that, hey, I'm gonna become a really strong sorceress, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna get stronger, and I'm gonna find those motherfuckers who did it to my family, and I'm gonna kill them all. Great, amazing, I love the character development on her part. Seth, of course, is not magical, so he can't really help her with that, but he supports her in whatever she decides to do, so that's nice. Another couple that had a lot of talking to do was Alice and Renfred. They also had to go through their expectations and grievances, mostly Alice, though. She's still very much hung up on the fact that Renfred treats her as a daughter and not as a bodyguard, and she doesn't have that patience that Lucy has that would make her go, hey, you know what, I'm gonna learn here, I'm gonna grow stronger, I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna eventually be a good bodyguard to you, just you wait. She wants it now. So we can't really talk about much of a character growth here, it was just a reiteration of a previous point. They do still very much care about each other, which is nice to see. Additionally, Cartaphilus showed himself in Chise to scare off Fabio. What else happened? Who was it? Zoe. Zoe also was in the Waste Tower. Zoe had a run-in with a couple of sorcerers who were imprisoned in the Waste Tower, and he barely escaped. And lastly but not leastly, Alcyon appeared with the owl from Granny Dearest in person to tell Liza Quilin that she withdraws Philomela from the school. Thankfully, Liza had different plans. She summoned all the Chise that guard the dorms and erected a barrier over the entire school because, hey, you know, we had some werewolf attacks, we had some shady people hanging around, there's that book that sucks people magic out. You wouldn't happen to know anything about it? No? Okay, so I thought, so as a precaution, we're just gonna cut the entire academy off from the rest of the world. So I'm afraid Philomela won't be able to leave. Oh, how sorry am I? And she did that. Then the Chise killed the owl, but didn't dispel Alcyon because Alcyon is Philomela's. Philomela's what? Actually, is she Philomela's? What should I call it? Fuck, not servant. I forgot the word. Pet. What Ruth is to Chise, Alcyon is to Philomela. We don't know that. If that was the case, then why would Alcyon be staying at the mansion and not with Philomela at all times? Why would she be executing the orders of Granny Dearest instead of helping Philomela? There's some fucky-wacky things going on. We know that because Philomela said it herself to Rian when they were airing their grievances, because that also happened, that talk between Philomela and Rian, that she doesn't have desires. She's a tool to her family, she's been stripped of her desires, she's been stripped of her humanity, and we need to build that up. Finally, Joe, meaning Isaac Farrar, the guy who always wears a hood, grabbed Philomela's hand and rushed off. I still really find it weird that it was Isaac. I would have expected Chise first, Rian second, Isaac way at the end of the list. But apparently he has some strong feelings about Philomela's situation. So, in this season, I expect befriending Philomela, making her more of a person. She's gonna go through a little bit of a Chise arc, because Chise initially was also that sort of an empty shell, empty husk of a person, and then she gained her humanity eventually with Elias's help and with the help of other people. And I fully assume something similar to happen to Philomela now, and she will finally befriend Chise, she will finally befriend Lucy, and they're gonna have so much fun together. Until shit hits the fan and Granny Dearest attacks the academy and they have to kill Granny or something along those lines. That's probably gonna happen. I don't know. I have no clue what exactly is gonna happen in this season. I have no clue what's exactly gonna happen in this episode. Maybe we will start where we left off. Maybe we will start after some time skip. I don't fucking know. How about we just start watching it and see what actually happens, right? To do that, you will of course need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support the channel monetarily if you want on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching Mahoutsukai no Yome Season 2 Episode 13 in 3, 2, 1, go. Granny writing a letter. No, Liza. And the Two-Face. Right, and we decided to cut off the academy. And the... Okay, I love it. The paper just stables itself to the walls where it needs to be, and writing magically appears. Library something. It's a really interesting way to give us a recap. And Ariel appears again. Oh, not even Ariel can enter. And here she wanted to visit Chise. New opening! Hey! Okay, let's go! Okay. Philomela. That's the Veronica. The potpourri. The potpourri that frees Philomela. Lucy, Zoe, Joe, Rian, and Chise being their mother, essentially. That's some very interesting imagery. Pepperoni hanging around with the other instructors instead of being trapped in the waste tower. The werewolf. Thurisaz, the Rune of Thorns. I had it noted down that Thurisaz is gonna be the motherfucking Chekhov's gun. Madoka Magica imagery, okay. That's a cool opening. You can see that shit's going down. Nothing venture, nothing have. One. Another two-parter. English muffins with strawberry jam. Yeah, we still don't know what's the deal with Veronica. I mean, fair. He's realistic, let's be honest here. And Zoe just enjoys his muffin. Okay, so I was correct about the master-servant relationship. Because the will of the granny overrides every other will. Yep, we're gonna have to work on your self-confidence. Hello, Alcyone. Okay, supervisor. So like a tulpa? Kind of a tulpa, I would assume. Philomela's father. Could it be that Elias is also an artificial fairy? I mean, yeah, the barrier has been raised. She's like twice their height. Are you like joining our classes? Elias visiting his friend? I like that he spent some time in bed, so he has some stubble on his face. Eh? Friend? What? Yeah. I mean, partially. Two new emotions have been acquired. Emotions, feelings, yeah. Two more. Wow, what a realization. Right, we're gonna make some potpourris with Philomela. Why are you acting old soon? Oh, so that Chise doesn't think that she ran away again. What you doing, Liza? Golems? Okay, golems on patrol. That's useful. Who's behind the door? Right, I wouldn't be able to sleep either, hearing all that thumping behind my door. Probably some combat training or something. Yeah, didn't sleep well because of all the golems thumping and thinking. Sure. Don't you have like magic caffeine? Yeah, because she got so much weight off her chest. She can finally, rest well. Okay, so Cat She's barrier can even cut off like waves. Doubtful. Ariel wasn't able to get in. That's the biggest question, isn't it? Oh, hello, pepperoni. Right, tough times make strange bedfellows, huh? Combat. Oh, those are vines that I believe we've seen in the opening. That's not bad for CG. Okay, so he is an instructor after all. A book of black sludge? Sure. Okay, it can create monsters. Familiars, right. That was the word I was looking for. That Alcyon is Philomela's familiar. Combat. A rune, Uruz. Can't remember what Uruz means, but... Oh, protection. Alright. So you need to know how to protect yourselves. Oh, they're friendly. Yep. Hmm. A gun. A dagger. An axe. A gun. Make a gun. Ah, why? A pick? Use your sorcery now, bitch. Yeah. That was a very good point made in Seven Spellblades. That magic works well long range, but if you can get close to someone, you can just stab them, and that's it. And you're done. Healing magic? Shovels? Why do you... Why did you figure a shovel is a good weapon? Use a club. Club is a very simple weapon. Doesn't matter which side you use, it's gonna smash a motherfucker in the head. Dragon hand. Just choking the fucking dinosaur to death. Easy. She doesn't need a weapon. But the dragon did. Dragon and Cartaphilus. Rian also knows how to kill. Philomela is also gonna manage, probably. Yeah, that's fair. Joe isn't doing so hot. Okay, so he's a blacksmith. But you can also use an axe. An axe is also a fairly simple weapon. The weight does much more than technique. Easier to use than a sword, for example. Of course, Philomela does well. Again, with a dagger-ish looking thing. Like a tanto, wakizashi, trained killer. Who has issues killing. Oh, she spoke. Of her own volition. That's unusual. First time she hears that, probably. Granny dearest. Who else? Veronica also managed to do it quickly and easily. Spear, also a very good idea. Keeps the enemy at bay. You stab. That's all there is to using a spear, my dude. Is someone still fighting? Lucy? Oh, they're fighting against Pepperoni. And okay, she made a staff. And Rian still uses a dagger. Blunt damage works against bone. Not piercing. Strike! Okay, that was a great combo attack. And Pepperoni is also having fun. Right. Chise was channeling a little bit too much of the dragon power, wasn't she? I mean, learning combat, it's within the scope of the lesson. Not Chise, not Rian, not Philomela. I want to be normal. uh, yeah, that's fair. You probably didn't even have the time to think of a chant. Hesitation kills. Okay, I like Wachman more and more. She's great. Yeah, Philomela's not having a good time. There we go. Chise also has some superhuman strength. It's not just Wachman. Yeah. What's your deal, Veronica? I still can't get a read on you. I still can't get a read on you. Yeah, I wonder that as well. Lucy, why are you here? Oh, right. Chise is the battery. Why? Okay, why not the nurse's office though? British fruit cider. That's the guy who created Alcyon, isn't it? Has very similar hair, certainly. I wonder. Oh, the ending. And the ending seems to be focused on Veronica. Or are we gonna see a little bit of everybody? Gotcha. First ED was very much focused on Chise, Philomela, and Lucy. This time around, I guess we see everybody. Or everybody we haven't seen in the opening. Because the opening was kind of limited only to the foreground characters. Okay, Lucy's here, so everybody. Philomela with her hair loose. And lastly, but not leastly, Chise. Yep, this is our main group, it would seem. Oh, spoilers. Let's not. Let's not watch spoilers. Let's instead watch this episode again. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Of course we shall. Writing about the situation at school. We're investigating. I'm guessing Marielle was sent to investigate where that book is. Granny is shady as always. This is great. I love it. This is like straight from Harry Potter, right? Enchanted pieces of paper flying out, placing themselves on the door and walls and whatnot, and then whatever you write on another piece of the enchanted paper appears on every other piece. I love it. This is great. Library. Oh, British Library. Okay, so I guess the academy is located in the underground part of the British Library. It's really nice to see Ariel, but unfortunately she can't enter. I was hoping that perhaps the Ketchi is gonna appear, question her, why are you here, what's her goal, and she's gonna be let in. Ariels are a joy to be around, and I would really like to see Ariel interact with Chise a little bit. Like, sure, okay, Chise has Ruth, but Ruth is like fully her familiar. Ariel is just a friendly neighborhood. Yeah, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Friendly neighbor. So it would also be nice to have a friendly Fae around so that maybe one of her friends can use her powers, right? Chise would probably be able to convince Ariel to help Rian, maybe, to give Rian at least a taste of using the power of the neighbors. I don't know. It would be fun having Ariel around, but alas, she cannot enter. And the opening, the use of mixed media here, kinda sorta mixed media, because everything is drawn. But the mixture of art styles really reminds me of Madoka Magica. Those are made of cardboard, and the play begins. It's interesting how Philomela takes the center stage, essentially. Philomela and Veronica. Veronica combing Philomela's hair, probably, or Philomela combing Veronica's. Philomela trapped in a cage with an owl, her grandmother. And Chise using that potpourri to bring her to life. So that she no longer is just a cardboard cutout, but rather a living, breathing person with her own desires, her own strengths. And it seems like we are going through all of them. Or, well, at least the main cast, right? Philomela, Lucy, Zoe, Rian, Isaac. Yeah, that would be the main cast. It seems like Chise is going to be helping all of them. Lucy, with her traumas caused by her family being murdered, with the spiders in the background, also slowly opening her eyes as Chise approaches, gaining color and whatnot. Zoe getting out of hiding inside of the proverbial egg, getting out of his shell. Joe also went through some shit, it would seem. Blacksmith's apprentice, who witnessed the entire village getting murdered, so he puts a scarf on his head to like hide from the world. That's why he's wearing hoodies. Yep. That's probably exactly what it is. Where are you? Magia Records, Zom 100. Man, when is that gonna be airing, huh? Ancient Magus Bride. There we go. What's his actual name? Isaac. Isaac was a blacksmith's apprentice who witnessed the whole village being killed, so he hid his head in a scarf. That's why. Hoodies. Who else do we have here? Rian, with all the knightly symbolism, and a wooden bowl. Curiously enough, initially I thought it might be a buckler, but it seems like it's a wooden bowl. Everybody has some traumas, everybody has some past, right? And everybody is wearing the clothes that they were wearing back in the past. And it's Chise who will lead them towards growing up, growing out of their childhood issues, childhood traumas. And Elias is still lurking in the shadows. I find it very interesting in general how sidelined Elias has become. And I honestly kind of enjoy it, because it really gives Chise the space to breathe, the space to develop as her own character. She is no longer defined by Elias. Right? Right? The entirety of season 1 and a good chunk of season 2 as well, Chise was pretty much joined at the hip with Elias. What the latter part of the first core of season 2 and this season seems to be doing is kind of disconnecting her from Elias. She's still her mentor, she's still her groom, she's still her apprentice when it comes to the matters of feelings and emotions, but they are no longer basically one and the same person. Chise has her own life, her own friends, her own development, her own room, her own problems, her own issues, right? I really like it. It was much needed, for sure, and I like that it comes true. The twins, Veronica, as unreadable as always. Here's the werewolf, the surviving one, running after Chise. Then some tentacles piercing all of the kids and turning them back into cutouts. Could it be that those tentacles come from the book? Maybe. Possibly. Thurisaz, Thorn. The rune of thorns. It really seems like Chise will become the Thorn Mage 2.0. Maybe. She destroys the entire scene, the entire play. Philomela is freed by shedding her hair ties. The bird is dead. Philomela's parents, I would assume. This is... I know, man. Chise going full dragon. It could be Violet or Jasmine transforming. It could be a whole another foe. We don't know. We don't have enough context for that. I think her hair was animated on once. Yep. 1 animated on once indeed. And this entire stage assumes the form of a monster with the eye inside, the eye that's also watching in from the shadows from within the book. And she's running at it with shining rune of thorn in her hand. And there is Philomela at the center of it. And Chise uses Thurisaz to get rid of the play, get rid of the stage, and reveal the real world. A very interesting comparison with season 1's, with first course opening. In this scene, we saw the classroom, and it was filled with characters, right? Everybody was here. Now it's empty. Something's dark is afoot, I feel. Some English muffins, strawberry jam. I could go for some strawberry jam sandwiches. Maybe strawberry jam and toast. Never had English muffins. How hard are they to make, I wonder? I'm gonna have to look it up. And maybe make some for breakfast tomorrow. Surgeons don't think very highly of the college because the surgeons rely on the members of their family not being exposed to the outside world. It's much easier to manipulate people who are not educated, who are not exposed to the outside world, right? You keep them in, you don't let them get outside education, you don't let them meet outside people, they're easier to educate. That's how cults work. That's how cults work. Philomela's been here because of the Rickenbacker's demand. Yeah, I still have no clue what is Veronica's agenda. She seems shady. But maybe she's not. Maybe she actually genuinely wants the best for Philomela. And Zoe doesn't care about petty squabbles. He has his muffin and he likes it. Master-servant relationship, I was correct. Why does she have a red spot on her face, I wonder? First thing that comes to mind is, of course, Veronica slapped her in the face, and now she's like, oh, I did it for your well-being. I did it because I like you so much. Right? Classic, like, abuser tactics. But I think that because it's the first thing that comes to mind, it's a misdirection on purpose. And perhaps Philomela just got hurt, and Veronica found her, and is like, hey, Philomela, I'm glad you're safe. Let's go back home. Also worth noting, Philomela's neck is bandaged up. Could it be that that Veronica's goal was legitimately to get Philomela out of an abusive situation, abusive household? Right? I want her as my servant, so you cannot hurt her because she's mine. Something along those lines, maybe? I don't know. Worth noting down for sure. Veronica saved Philomela by claiming her as hers. Something similar I remember in some other series where someone also saved another person by claiming that, hey, I know, I purchased them, they are my belonging, you can't destroy my belongings, something along those lines. And no, it wasn't Shield Hero, something else, but I can't quite recall. Yeah, she's the master. Why are you suddenly leaving when your master ordered you to be here? Because Granny Dearest has different plans. It wouldn't surprise me if Granny was planning to overthrow the Rickenbackers, to free her clan from Rickenbacker's influence. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Actually, let's note it down. Granny wants to free surgeons from Rickenbackers. And I should probably place like a dotted line to signify second core. There we go. I don't know why I was told to come along. This is interesting. Probably... why would Veronica not tell Philomela why she wants her to come along? Either because of nefarious purposes, or so that Philomela doesn't reveal that to Granny. Because Veronica knows that Granny's word is absolute, and she doesn't want Granny to hear that Veronica wants to free Philomela. So, she didn't tell that to Philomela so that she can't spill the beans to Granny. It's possible. It's like grandmother says. And Alcyon, wild Alcyon has appeared. Artificial Harry. Yeah, absolutely. I know, maybe she is artificial Harry, but for sure she is artificial fairy. Made to serve Sergeant family and thus Lady Philomela. Very interesting that despite seemingly being Philomela's familiar, she can be detached from her for that long. The man who created me was a gifted sorcerer. Philomela's father created Alcyon? father created Alcyon. I also wonder, could it be that Philomela is the one true heiress to the Sargent family? But Granny wanted that family. Granny wanted to have control over it. So after Philomela's parents died, she took over and essentially beaten Philomela into submission mentally to gain control over the family. Seems plausible. Philomela is the true heiress of the surgeons. Granny took the family over after Philo's parents died, and perhaps was also responsible for those deaths. Do I have it noted down that Alcyon was... No, I don't. Alcyon was created by Philo's father. Reminds me of Elias. Elias is an artificially created being. I think I even have it noted down somewhere. Elias was created to be the ultimate mimic. Okay, so worst comes to worst, I can just highlight Elias was created in green and the rest in orange. We're covered there. Why is she here? Because she can't go back, because the college was sealed. Nobody gets in, nobody gets out. Friends, I like the detail of Simeon actually having some stubble. He's been in the infirmary for a long time. He probably didn't shave, so of course he's gonna have some stubble. That's a nice little detail. Elias just processing. Hey, you are a friend. Actually, I have I have over 5 friends? What? I love it. Preparing the potpourris. I fully expected Philomela to go in, because Chise invited her maybe, but no, it's Lucy, much more timid, but also no longer has the eye bags. She got the whole entire weight off her shoulders. The whole situation with her family was really weighing on her back. And now she has the resolve. First of all, she has the determination, and she cleared the air with her brother. So of course she will be looking much more revitalized. Golems patrolling. And combat training, combat exercise. We haven't seen many of those other classmates. Lucy looks weirdly refreshed. I'm glad someone in-world actually notices that. Realistic. Fuck, my daily streak in Arc Knights. I'm not gonna have enough random to pull for the next character. God damn it. Yeah, my login bonus. Interesting that catchy barrier even stops the electromagnetic waves from passing through. Is magic a form of an electromagnetic wave? That's an interesting thought. Also, maybe it's a little too late to mention that, but I really like the marriage of technology of modern day with that, like, back in the days magic. I even started writing a story way back when I was still a teen, that took place in current day, but it had the elements of like, old magic. Someone would be wearing a nice full suit, but also a runic pendant, and he'd be using a magic sword to fight, stuff like that. I kind of was inspired by. I don't think that book was translated to English. I wonder. And does it translate to English? I wonder. At least the title of the book. In Polish, its name is Królikarnia, which roughly would translate to like a rabbit pen. The rabbit house. Yeah, something like that. It's a palace in Warsaw. That's the first thing. But it's also a title of the book. And the premise was that it's modern day Poland, or like late 90s, early 2000s Poland. But fairy tales and stuff kind of became real. We opened a portal to the fairy tale land. So the black market in Warsaw is where you can buy a bottle with a genie. And the Polish military regularly goes onto excursions into fairy tale worlds for resources, and Poland became a huge country because of that, because only they have access to bottles with genies, magic weapons that were adapted to like modern combat. So you had bullets for a gun made by smelting down a magic sword, so the bullets would also explode on hit or freeze enemies because it was the sword of frost, stuff like that. I was inspired by that, and I really love those climates. So this really hits something, the marriage of magic and technology, or magic in a modern day. That's kind of one thing that I was a little bit disappointed by in Harry Potter. Not enough interaction with the Muggles. Like, I would love Harry, Hermione, and Ron to get themselves a cell phone to be able to communicate with each other, and the other wizards would not be able to capture that communication, because what the fuck is a cell phone even? I can capture an owl, I can capture telepathy, but what the fuck is a cell phone? I was kind of missing that. I know, Ron getting a Glock. Shit like that, but alas. Closures happen, yeah, because it's an academy, but it also houses plenty of ancient artifacts and whatnot. Anyone with magic and sorcery could get out. Not really. I still don't know where that's coming from. Alcyon cannot get out. Why are you thinking that anybody else could get out? Yeah, the book. Hello, Pepperoni. Combat training. And Wachman really is Pepperoni's handler. Amazing design of those monsters. They really look like those, artificially created beings, because they aren't like, I don't know, fully made, fully completed. They're just a smooth body with completely white. He didn't bother giving them any sort of color. Color serves them no purpose. They don't have any details like, I don't know, spikes on their shoulders or claws or stuff like that, because it's not necessary. They have the bare minimum of features. They have an opening in the front that they can use to feed and bite, and they have 4 limbs, and that's the extent of it. That's all that's necessary. This look really conveys the feeling, the aesthetic of an artificial creation. It's great. It's great. I'm glad. I'm actually glad that Pepperoni is joining us. He's a fun character. Sigrid Wachman, his supervisor. As I said already, I really like Wachman's design. I really do enjoy Wachman's design. Combat lesson. Protective rune talisman. Actually, what is the actual meaning of Uruz? Uruz rune meaning. stubbornness, self-determination, courage, but also indicates rashness and ignorance. Rune of powerful unconscious shaping energies that need to be guided wisely and they manifest. Rune of the Aurochs, a great beast similar to the modern day bison. Success in the future, which is the result of action in forces. Perseverance. The meaning of wild ox or aurochs. Symbol of passion and vitality. Self-understanding and reflection. A lot of meanings, surprisingly. And none of them have anything like directly to do with protection. Just perseverance. But I guess perseverance is a form of, you know, it keeps you alive. It keeps you persevering. And some clay to create a weapon. They're friendly. I like them. I like those white puppers with their human hands. I really, really like this design. Picture a weapon or tool. Yeah, a dagger. That's Chise making it, or is it Rian? I forgot. It's Rian, isn't it? Because of the shape of his jaw? Yeah, it's Rian making a dagger. Initially, I thought it was Chise, but no, it's Rian. This poor sword made a crooked mace. Someone made a hammer, a cleaver, a stick, Kama's sword, an axe for Joe. What else do we have as far as weapons are concerned? No guns. There's a trick to those. I like it. I like that he immediately mentions no guns, there's a trick to those. So you can make a gun, but it's kind of tricky. You need to know a certain way. It's cool. You probably need to be able to think of, to imagine how the internal mechanism of the gun works to be able to create a functional gun. You don't need to imagine how a sword works, because a sword is a sharp piece of metal, so you can imagine it easily. You can imagine a hammer or a pick like he did or whatever else, but a gun, that takes practice and imagination. Why are we using weapons? Well, someone didn't watch the 7 Spellblades. That's why you're using weapons. Can you chant now? Can you use magic to free yourself? No, you can't. You couldn't chant quickly enough to protect yourself from this. You're in melee range, so it's very easy to kill you by stabbing or hitting or shooting. Simple as that. You don't always have the time to do the old ring of holy yada yada smite my enemies, because by then someone's gonna jump at you and stab you in the chest, and you're gonna be dead before you finish your chanting. Talisman works, at least we have a confirmation. Why a shovel? I guess a shovel can make for a decent spear, like a broadhead spear kind of sort of deal. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can like slice with it, you can stab with it. Sure, it works, I guess. And Chise doesn't need weapons because she has the dragon, and she can just choke this monster to death, crush its windpipe, and be done with it. That's great. It reminds me of Psyhead and a Paladin, where Will just choke slam the dragon. That was amazing, and this is in this vein. Redhead magic users or something else, aren't they? How can I act so decisively? You can't. The dragon sure can, though. And Rian can. He knows how to fight, he knows how to kill. And we're gonna have some fun with pepperoni. I'm not a user so much as I am a maker. I wonder, the axe, the blacksmithing. Could it be that Isaac was raised in a dwarven village? Maybe it's pushing it a little bit, but it would kind of fit, maybe. Isaac was raised by a dwarf. But hey, sure, he's not much of a user, but he can use an axe. Axe is very easy to use. Mace, axe, sword. Somewhere in that order, in order of use. And Philomela also works really well. But it seems like it launches some trauma in her or something else. She doesn't like killing, it would seem. She has bad memories with killing. Who did she kill? I still have a feeling that she might have been responsible for the Webster massacre. Responsible as in she was ordered to do it. I think she would be much more awkward around Lucy if that was the case, though, so probably not. Probably not. I wonder if she's seen as defective by her family. Her family is a family of assassins, and she just gets nauseous after she kills someone. I have to be able to do this going forward. Did someone tell you that? Yes, grandmother probably, or her parents. Right? You are a part of the Sargent family, so you need to be able to kill. And Veronica knows what's up, and I still have absolutely no reading on her. She could be here smiling like, haha, I know what's up. I know that it's your trauma that launched. Oh, you poor Philomela, you. Or it could be a genuine smile of, oh, look, Philomela's making friends. I'm so happy for her. That's why I brought her to this academy, so that she can open up to other people. I'm glad my plan is working. Right? It really could be either. I'm really having no read on her. And yeah, Zoe's not cut for fighting without his snakes and sorcery. Meanwhile, Chise uses a staff very similar to her own. My body moves, but I can't do much more with a staff than swing it around. Well, because a staff isn't really a weapon. It's a magic weapon, right? You can use it to cast spells, but it doesn't really work well as a bludgeoning weapon. Rian's doing good, though. This is an amazing combo attack. This is great. Strike! And out! I did not expect stuff like that to be happening here, but I like that Rian really works well with Chise. If push comes to shove, if they actually need to fight, they will be complementing each other. They're gonna work really well. I like how Pepperoni is having fun here. To a point, though, because now it's not a student running at him, it's a motherfucking dragon. And he probably would have died if it wasn't for Wachman, who got them out of their battle trance. Also, what the fuck are those boots, my dude? What are those? Do you see that? He has normal shoes, but the tips are cut off. What the fuck are those? What the fuck are those? Alright. Alright. I mean, that's a stylistic choice. And post it to my Discord. I really like Wachman. If you're not satisfied, I'll tell you a new one later. There is some sexual tension between them. Probably not, but it's fun to think about it. He was afraid? This is great. I want to be normal. I was afraid. Humans are... Oh, everybody's afraid. Well, I was afraid as well. I don't want to stick out. I don't want to stand out. And then Chise is like, oh, shit, everybody's putting their hands up. Well, I surely was also afraid. Pepperoni knows what's up, though. Don't lie. Of course you weren't afraid, not for a moment. This is a very fair point. You didn't have time to even think about using sorcery. Right? None of you used it instinctively, none of you even tried, because you were too preoccupied with just trying to survive. Do you think you have the capacity? No, not yet. It's up to you in the end to take care of yourself. You need to have a full suit of tools at your disposal. So far you have sorcery. But you also need to be able to fight back in close combat. You also need to be able to run away. You need all of those in order to survive. This show this show reminds me of Seven Spellblades more and more as time goes on. And this is the most important bit. Don't you dare hesitate. You hesitate for a moment, you're dead. That's how it works. Again, multiple shows kind of covering each other's themes. In the recent episode of that I watched of Frieren, there was also like, hey, someone's telling their sweet words at you, like pretending to be, oh no, mommy, I'm scared. You waver because you believe them and you are dead. Don't hesitate, don't waver. That means certain death. They have great chemistry, Wachman and Pepperoni. Wachman has super strength. Does she also have a dragon within her or something? I wonder what's the deal with Philomela. She's feeling sick. Like physically. It genuinely seems physical. Not mental issue with, oh no, I had to kill a living being, well, arguably living being, but rather, oh, something's wrong with me physically. I wonder what she thinks of it. I wonder that too. I have absolutely no read on Veronica. Lucy goes with Chise because Chise is now her battery. They have to be joined at the hip. They have no choice. Why does Philomela not want to go to the infirmary? Also, very, like, she feels very strongly about not going to the infirmary. Right? She's almost... Oh, not even almost. She's straight up afraid of going to the infirmary. I wonder why. I wonder if there's genuinely something physically up with her. Maybe she's a werewolf and is hiding that fact, and a visit at the infirmary would unveil the truth. I know, but something's up with her. This hair is very reminiscent of the hair of the guy who made Alcyon. So I wonder. A magic book that's being used in some really sketchy ways. So we are engaging like treasure hunters and mercenaries and adventurers essentially into looking for the Carnamagos Testament. All the background characters hanging out in a very casual way. Joe still wearing his hoodie. Philomela no longer wearing hair ties. There is significance to the hair. there's a lot of significance to it, right? Chise cutting hers, Philomela letting hers flow freely. And that's, well, I can see that we're gonna see Alcyon in the next episode, and Philomela is still gonna have her eye bags. Hopefully she gets rid of them just like Lucy did, thanks to Chise, just like Lucy did. Kinda, sorta. Okay, there we go. Shit. Over an hour, huh? An hour and 16 minutes. I kinda overstayed my welcome, I feel. So, good episode. Very good starting point of the next core, next season, arguably. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm really enjoying it. It was a cool episode. Again, it kind of continued from the new things that were established in the previous episode and the finale of the first core. It also introduces a little bit, well, quite a few clues to all those questions, all those storylines that we started, that we have established. Right? We have a little bit more clues about the sergeants, about the Rickenbackers. We have a little bit more detail, a little bit more clues about Isaac. It really seems like we will be, over the course of this season, covering the storylines of Chise's classmates. Not just Lucy, not just Philomela, but also Joe, Isaac, Zoe, who else is there? Rian. Probably not the secondary characters like Roy, Beatrice, Sophia, Kevin, Jasmine, the St. George twins, the Atwood twins. Probably not. I don't know though. I don't know. Maybe. 12 episodes though, so we're probably not gonna have enough time to cover everybody. It's just the main cast, if that. I wonder if they're planning like a part 3 of the second season or the third season, because it really feels like they could use it. What was that white? No, it wasn't my... Something popped up on my screen for a moment. Whatever, doesn't matter. It really feels like they could use a lot more, because there's a lot more to tell. There's a lot more of a story. And it's kind of a shame that it isn't like a weekly series. It's kind of a shame that it isn't 24 episodes times 3 seasons. But there is hope. There is hope that a third season might arrive eventually, or third part of the second season, or however else they want to name it. Hopefully, because I'm having fun. I'm engaged. I'm having a lot of thoughts. I'm having a lot of theories. I'm having a lot to think about. I'm engaged with the characters. I'm interested with them. Their fate isn't, it's not, whatchamacallit, it's not meaningless to me, right? I want to know where they go, what becomes of them. Cool, good shit, good writing, good characters, good animation, good art, good sound, good music, great voice acting, for sure, especially on Philomela's part, and Chise's. Of course, no wonder her voice actress got a role as Frieren. If you didn't know that before, Chise and Frieren have the same seiyuu. But it's already an hour and 20 minutes, so I think I should end it right here. But you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that, all in the comments below. Like this video, no spoilers, right, no spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord, here also in the description. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Ancient Magus Bride but also Mahoutsukai no Yome, Frieren, Shield Hero, Shangri-La Frontier, Psy-Hat and a Paladin, and plenty of others coming at you in the future. I also stream sometimes, so click the bell to be notified of when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me on YouTube itself via memberships, super thanks, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, The Corpo Survivor, Zayrainer, Aquamancer, David, Dr. Walt, Marsh, UKLA, Fussel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to fight white monsters.